Hello, welcome to the Jacksonville History Show. I'm Emily Rutherford-Liska, Executive Director of the Jacksonville Historical Society, and today we'll talk about one of the favorite history events in Jacksonville, Florida, with a long history itself, and that is the Evergreen Cemetery Tour by the Pilot Club Port of Jacksonville. And to tell you more about it, the guest is Margaret Smith, past president of Port of Jacksonville Pilot Club. Hello, Margaret.
Thank you for having us, Emily. We always love to come and talk to you about our cemetery tour.
And it's a great one this year for certain. I was looking over some of the stops, and in this, there will be stories of German subs off our coast, Civil War soldiers, Pulitzer Prize winners, a city leader or two, and even a nun. So you've got some exciting things lined up in the St. Mary's section of Evergreen.
October the 11th and 12th, we will be having our tour at the St. Mary's section. That's Gate 4 for anyone who's familiar with how, this is the gate right before the railroad tracks. We've been here before, but it's been a number of years before we've explored St. Mary's.
Let's talk a little bit about that exploration and what people will find. First of all, they'll be greeted by tour guides, so they won't be left to their own devices.
Oh, no, not at all.
The pros who come regularly know this.
Yes.
And of course, October, there's a little crispness in the air, and that's fun. Talk about some of the people in the city's history that that you'll learn more about on this tour.
Probably the name that most people will be most aware of is St. Elmo Chick Acosta. I mean, we all know the Acosta Bridge, and people who have lived in Jacksonville for a while might even remember his namesake, an elephant that was in the old Jacksonville Zoo. Miss Chick was, I'm a Jacksonville native, and I remember Miss Chick.
She was a legend,
She was. Well, the school children named her after having a competition citywide, and because Acosta was involved in getting the zoo started and getting that elephant, they wanted to call her Miss Chick.
Well, it was a great name for a great lady in the city's history,
Yes.
that wonderful elephant. And then she was replaced by Debbie, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't know the names of the elephants there now, but nonetheless, let's talk about the Pulitzer Prize winner who is buried there.
Well, I think if you say Kiss of Life, that will spur people's memory for that very memorable photograph of the two linemen who were on a pole, one who'd gotten shocked and was being given mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And the Jacksonville Journal photographer, Rocco Morabito, happened to be by there and snapped the Pulitzer Prize winning photograph that has become very iconic.
And that's right, and this was in the afternoon when it occurred, and had there not been a stop the presses moment, perhaps this Pulitzer would have never come about, but it was literally one of those moments. So how exciting that that the tour will pass Rocco Morabito's grave, and there'll be a chance to learn about that wonderful man in the city's history. Now, this gets, well, there's a nun. Tell us about, I think it's Sister Mary Ann.
Sister Mary Ann, who was involved with an orphanage.
Let's see if we can zoom in on that.
Let's see, we zoom in on that.
And is this the orphanage?
She was a native of Ireland, and she came to Jacksonville and very much was in charge of the orphanage. And we'll point out the 5 other nuns who are buried quite close by, and also the graves of the orphans, little graves, right there by Sister Mary Ann. But she was well known throughout the city as caring for the poor.
And let's see, you've created a gorgeous poster for this event this year, as you always do. The tour itself is called Tales of Our City.
Correct.
And that has been a consistent theme and title for your tours. And this year, talk about what you feature on that poster.
Well, we feature the grave marker of a man named Mason who was involved in the hotel trade in Jacksonville. There was a hotel called the Everett, but the one that most people might remember was the Mayflower down on Bay Street, which had an iconic place to go dancing, and was the first building to be imploded in Jacksonville, I understand.
Oh, we have photos of it
Yes.
in the archives at the
Yes.
Jacksonville Historical Society. I'm going to try, I don't think I can do this. Well, the poster's in set that people can maybe see on their screens from a distance, and they'll just have to come to the tour to see this wonderful old edifice. I'm sure there'll be an image there.
Which does not exist anymore. It was torn
Right.
down.
Of St. Mary's home. Do you know where that was located? It must have been downtown.
It was right next to Immaculate Conception.
That makes sense that it was indeed. Now, if you could tell people the logistics, and I'm sure you can, what should they know that day when they show up to take the tour?
Well, they should know it is a walking tour, and they need to dress comfortably and have comfortable shoes. They need to be prepared. It's going to be between an hour and 90 minutes to walk through the cemetery, mostly on paved roads, and they will hear the guides talk as well as storytellers and see dramas that will illustrate the lives and deaths of about 25 people.
And the first tour on both Saturday and Sunday takes off just at 9 o'clock.
That's correct.
And the last tour begins right at 3 or before.
At 3, yes. And tickets are on sale now. There are remote locations that are accessible through our website, which is pilotclub.org. And we have quite a few sites throughout the city. When you buy your ticket early, it's $12. If you buy it at the door, it's $15.
How many years has the Pilot Club Port of Jacksonville given this tour?
This will be number 14. It's actually the 12th at Evergreen. The first 2 were at Old City, but we kind of ran out of people.
It's a little
there.
smaller,
It's smaller.
there.
And Evergreen courted the club to come, and the 170 acres that Evergreen covers, with I believe more than 70,000 burials, gives us plenty of Jacksonville people to talk about. And like I said, we've done this 12 years at Evergreen.
And years ago you focused on St. Mary's, as I recall, that
Yes.
section of the cemetery. So everyone in that section, to your knowledge, is Catholic.
Yes.
Has to be buried there. But I was just amazed by the number of city leaders. Now we have time to talk about the association with a German submarine and World War II and one of the bodies, one of the burials in the cemetery. Very little time, but we'll let you-
Well, with a young man who had joined the Merchant Marine was one of 2 people who were killed when that very famous submarine 123, which shelled and sank the Gulf America right off of the Jacksonville Beach coast.
So people could watch this. I mean,
Yes, they could.
citizens who lived
Yes,
here
they could.
during World War II, the Germans are attacking off our coast. Go ahead.
And the U.S. hadn't gotten real smart to have people have a blackout, and so the lights on the shore outlined the boats. So I mean, it was quite a show. But one of our stories is about a young man, one of 2 on a ship called the S.O. Baton Rouge. I should be telling all these
No, I'm
stories.
so-
People need to come to the.
Okay, you're whetting their appetite. So in that case, let's do this. One more time, give people the drill if they want to attend the hours, the dates of the premier history touring event in our city. Every 18 months is when it's held.
October 11th and 12th, Saturday and Sunday, both days. First tour starts at 9, last tour starts at 3.
Sounds perfect. People are missing out if they're not there. Margaret Smith, I want to thank you for all you do to promote the city of the city of Jacksonville through its history, just premier events time and time again, and my best thanks to the Pilot Club Port of Jacksonville.